Hi, I'm Mark Best and this is The Best Way. Today we're discussing different ways of aging beef. During the aging process, proteins that give muscles form and functionality start to be broken down by enzymes left in the body after slaughter. As these larger proteins disassemble, meat becomes more tender. There are two types of aging, wet aging and dry. Both processes assist in the tenderization of the meat, but dry aging also impacts flavour and texture. Wet aging is a general storage process when meat is vacuum packaged and stored. Wet aging enhances tenderness but does not greatly influence flavour. It is popular because it is less time and space intensive, plus there is no weight loss as the moisture is retained in the meat. The key to dry aged meat is the reduction of moisture. The process can range from a few weeks to a few months depending on the desired outcome. During this time, a protective crust of bacteria forms over the meat, helping to concentrate flavour. The crust is removed before the meat can safely be prepared and served. During the process, fats become aromatic as leftover energy in the muscle turns into glucose, enhancing the flavour. Dry aging, however, can result in losses from about 8% up to 20% in loss of yield, but what's lost in bulk is made up for in flavour. Today we're going to discuss and experiment with 4 dry-aged and a wet-aged product. We've used a 1.4 kilogram grain-fed marble score 4 to 5, which is a fat cap, intact ribeye as our constant. Let's take a look and see how they compare after the various aging techniques. Traditional dry aging, the classic method, deepens flavour. This one has been aged for 21 days. Koji aging. Koji accelerates aging and enhances umami. This one has been evenly covered in dry rice koji and aged for 21 days. Tallow aging. Beef is covered in rendered fat. This one was dipped and left to age for 21 days. Honey aging, as the name suggests, meat is covered in honey and left to age. This one has been aging for 3 days. The good thing about using the beef tallow is this comes from the same carcass as all of these steaks, and it's actually the absolutely perfect medium just for giving these a little bit of grease just so they start cooking evenly on the barbecue and getting an even caramelization. And now let's cook them and see how they compare. Okay, this is where the rubber hits the road. We have all of our steaks cooked now. I've cooked them all rare-ish, around about 55 degrees. I guess just to get a base level. This is the wet-aged steak. We have the dry-aged steak. We have the koji-aged. Here we have the honey-aged steak, and here we have the tallow-aged steak. So you can see, even visually, you can see this is where the differences become quite apparent. You can see the two more dry-aged steaks, dry and the koji, much firmer crust, bit more shrinkage. Obviously there was some trimming there as well, but you see the caramelization is really quite different because of the surface was really quite dry at the start, really little moisture there. Wet-aged one is quite interesting. It pulled up quite tight in terms of the muscular. You can see it's quite thick there, so obviously a very different breakdown of the collagen and tissues there, and it's really tightened up. Interestingly, the honey age one is quite apparent because of the caramelization of the sugars on the surface of the honey, and it's really quite a lovely smell there, really quite beautiful. Looking forward to trying that one. And then the tallow age one is interesting and probably the most direct comparison to the wet aged steak. And again, little shrinkage, but it's quite interesting that the muscle seems really quite relaxed. So interesting results. So now that we've done that initial visual assessment, let's carve, taste and test. Okay, moment of truth, the taste test. This is the wet age, classic beef flavour, good amount of chew, taste a bit of the char there, nice and tender, plenty of flavour. Next we're going to have the dry aged. You can see, because we've only dry aged one steak, got a little bit of, it's a little bit dry on the outside, so I'm going to just eat into the middle there. Really a classic dry aged flavour. That concentration, the umami, the enzymic action, etc. The glutamates are more concentrated, so you get that salami almost flavour there. Good intense beef flavour. Nice texture too. Our next dry aged one is the koji aged one. Much like the dry aged one, but a little bit sweeter. I think the sugars from the rice have penetrated into the beef. Tenderness is around about the same. It's got a lovely floral character to it, I would think. Picking up there. Very different flavour to the dry aged one. Dare I say it, more feminine style in terms of those dry aging ones there. Next we have the honey aged. Obviously I think this is going to be a popular favourite just because of the caramelised honey is going to pop out. Of course the initial sweetness and again floral nature of the honey is really evident. Texture is different to the wet age, which is interesting. There's a bit firmer fibres, slightly not chewiness, but there's a firmness to the fibres there, which is quite interesting. I quite enjoy it, although the honey does dominate a bit too much. Then we're going to go to our tallow age. Really very good. Again, much like the wet aged in terms of texture, there's a lovely chew there. There's a lovely openness to the muscle fibres. A little bit of chew. I don't think it's softened that much, but there's slightly. It's a very different flavour to the wet aged as well. So it's really quite interesting how each of these different techniques have impacted the steak from the same animal, the same cooking method. Obviously there are pluses and minuses that you're going to have to weigh up in terms of if you're cooking in a commercial kitchen, yield loss, etc. is one of the things, the ultimate cost. If I was to choose a favourite, I would probably be leaning, towards the tallow aged one myself, given that it doesn't cost that much more. I like the flavour. Koji again was probably my second, very interesting, and then the wet age, which is just your classic Aussie beef flavour. So there we have it. That's the best way to age beef.